So thank you, Alvaro Martinez, for your time and for this interview. We are Batman Legend, a website dedicated to Batman fans, and so we will talk about Batman. A little bit. I think you know what is it because you work a lot about Batman. We met you a few years ago at Comic Con Paris in 2019.
Yeah.
For the pandemic.
Yeah. It was
Long time ago.
Long time ago.
a long time ago. A lot has happened since then for you. Talk us about your
evolution.
And your work about Batman, especially. You work a lot with Batman, since then.
But it's been a while since I worked in a Batman series.
Yeah.
Almost 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
That I do official Batman work, but I've been drawing Batman non-stop since then for commissions or for fans because there's always too many requests of Batman from fans. It's just the most popular character in the world. So
I understand.
But yeah, but I miss working with the character. My daily basics because it's a really funny character to draw. The whole lore of the character is just for an artist is so rewarding. But I've been busy, like you said, developing a new series, which is not about superheroes, it's not about bats, it's not about mans, it's about horror. It's called The Nice House on the Lake, and I've been away from superheroes.
This one,
There you go. And I've been away from superheroes for a while. But if I ever had a chance to work on Batman again, I will because I really love the character.
Yeah.
Yes, in a few words, what is your career to become an illustrator? What is your what you become an illustrator now?
How I became an illustrator?
Yeah. What's your path?
My path.
Yeah.
Okay. I started drawing when I was 2-3 years old.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and also at the same time, I developed like a total love for comics. I became obsessed since my siblings and my parents say that I learned how to read because I wanted to read the comics.
Yeah.
Because I discovered that there was some missing information that what is this in this balloon?
Oh, yeah.
So I look at the drawings. Okay, what is this? So
we have action, but not the world
to action. At the same time that I discovered comics, I discovered drawing.
Okay.
So I have like a small comic that my father keeps, which I did when I was 3 or 4 years old, which is a small comic. It's about my.
And what is the first comics? What is the name of the first?
No. It doesn't have a name. It's only it portrays my dad, my mom, my house, and something else. I don't know what it is. It's just a scribbling, right? So as you can see, at a very young age, I was doing comics, and I haven't started since then. I stopped. Since then. I had the immense luck that my parents they didn't want me to quit drawing. So I have a lot of support from them.
Okay.
And they encouraged me to keep drawing. They allowed me to study fine arts, which I did in Salamanca for 5 years. So I learned to paint, to sculpt, I did many things back in the day. And then after that, I moved to Madrid and started working on advertising and movies.
Okay.
I spent 10 years working on that. And 10 years ago, because this year is my 10th anniversary, I became
Happy birthday.
As a comic book artist, I wish it was my 10th birthday. It's not anymore. I started working in comic books 10 years ago. But as I told you, I haven't stopped drawing in 40 years.
Mm.
That's the path. But for me, it was the only path. I didn't have a plan B. So I knew since I was a kid that I want to be a comic book artist, and that's it.
It's the only job do you want to...
It's the only job I'm doing.
Yeah.
This or nothing.
No,
That's the
that's
choice.
it.
You worked several times with James Tynion.
You're meeting...
Yeah, we meeting him here in the Badverse, in particular, and also in the Nice House on the Lake. The first time you worked with him?
The first time?
Yeah.
It was Batman Eternal issue 35. I know the issue. But it was... I mean, the script was written by James and also 3 other writers.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, several writers. But it was the first time that we worked together. And with a brief... I did an issue with Ram V for Justice League Dark, but that's it. All the comics that I did for the last 8 years, it's been with James. It's only James. Yeah. So we are like a couple.
Do you love you work with him? What is your collaboration to feeling about him and your work?
The thing is that we've been working together for so long that we develop a kind of a system, which we didn't have to speak very much.
Okay.
We don't have to be on the phone like.
It's easy, not to.
James throws me ideas, I throw my ideas back, and it's back and forth until we are happy with what we're trying to put together. And we respect very much the other's work. And the thing that I think works better with us is that we know the strengths of each other work.
Okay.
I mean, I know that James is a writer that focuses more on the characters than in the action, I would say. He's very good at character building and the relationships between the characters. So he's not focused on the action or but I do.
Okay.
So James knows that he can send me a script of 6 pages of 2 characters just talking in a room, and I can come up with something interesting visually, because that's my focus, my interest is there. So I think it blends together really well.
Okay.
So
cool.
Cool. We get together well because we're friends. So that's important.
Yeah.
And you work Detective Comics and also Justice League Dark. What do you prefer on the between Batman family and Justice League, because it's very different, but Batman it's in two teams. So what do you prefer between the 2 teams?
Honestly, I would love to work on a book that is not a group book anymore.
Okay,
that is only just a single character.
Your answer, yeah.
Just a single character. No, but I don't know why, but I became a group artist, so I always do group series. But I think I have fun with both, but for different reasons. I mean, it's always funny. It's always exciting to work in Batman because, like I said, the lore, the city, the side characters, the villains is super funny, and you know the characters well because it's very well-known characters.
Yeah.
So it was amazing to work on the characters. But with Justice League Dark, I didn't know most of the characters really well because I'm sorry for this, but growing up, I used to be a Marvel kid, not a DC kid.
Oh my God!
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, but
you say
there's
Marvel?
a reason. That's it. I mean, growing up in Spain, it wasn't as it was easier to find Marvel comics rather than DC comics.
It's same thing in Portugal, because in Portugal, it's easy to have a Marvel comic book, but DC it's more complicated. I don't know why, but.
Back in the day, in the 80s, that's what it's Marvel or almost nothing.
Yeah.
So I didn't know most of the characters in Justice League Dark. So for me, it was a discover.
Yeah.
So it was funny anyway. So
Okay.
in a way, I always try to find. We need to work for very long on a book. It takes ages to do a comic, so you have to make the most fun of it.
Yeah.
To find the things that keep you interested and keep you passionate about it. So in Justice League Dark, that was the main reason that I was excited with the book, discovering the new characters and.
Okay.
And there is a draw you like to do, or it's just a page you like to draw, like it was this one. Oh yeah, I like it.
You mean one page that I like from my work? Actually, it's difficult. For us, we are never happy with. In my case, I know other artists which are happy with their work, but most of us are not. But I can tell you which ones I'm very proud. We did 5 pages in the Detective Comics issue number 1000, which is, it's something really special. James and I, we did 5 pages of it, and the last page portrays Batman and Robin just jumping towards the camera, and on the top bottom, there's Batman and Robin taking the oath with the candle, with Robin, and it's a very special image, and I feel very proud of that.
Okay, cool.
You work with several writers. Why do you approach with you work with different personality, different synopsis, and why you?
How do I approach?
Yeah.
Working.
It's hard to
switch between
the
but the thing
writers.
is, as I told you, I've been working with James non-stop for 7 years. I almost forgot how I was working with other writers. But I did, like I said, a couple of issues of Justice League Dark with Ram V.
Yeah.
And I was kind of surprised because the process is the same. You try to
make real
to take away the images that the writer is trying to explain to you. In a way, you get inside the writer's head and take that images and trying to make the most of them. But with Ram, it was like a very different script. Ram has a more visual mind than James. So James. As I said, he has other strengths. He's fantastic with character development. He's fantastic with plot. But Ram is like I can tell what I could visualize the panels perfectly reading the script. It's like because he's an artist as well. And that helps. But in a way, as the images were so clear in the script, the room for myself was a little bit tinier.
Yeah. So it's more easy to draw when the writers draw too.
You get less space for yourself to express. No. But you get something in return that is easier to work with. The script is easier to work. You don't have to overthink very much. It's because it's very clear in the script. But I enjoy both. As I don't mind because with James, it's I need to put more of myself on the final book. But it's fine anyway. I'm a professional.
Good answer.
I try to be a professional. I try.
We love your Batman draw. Do you have a tips for the young drawers who want to draw Batman?
For me.
Use black.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't use pink. Don't use yellow. No.
It was the answer from
Jock.
Joke,
the drawer's job. He answered to us black.
A lot of black.
But I mean, I think the whole point is the silhouette. Because it's the most I don't know how to pronounce it. You can recognize the silhouette wherever you go. You just have to with the pointy ears and that's it. That's it. So it's silhouette and the cape. For me, it's the cape. I spend a lot of time with the cape whenever I draw Batman. Just with all the foldings and stuff because it's funny to draw and I think it looks really cool. So I always focus on the cape. I don't know. That's my tip.
Okay. So now, can you tell us about an upcoming project for you? A new project?
We are starting to develop the second season of the Nice House on the Lake.
Yeah.
Which the plan is, since I'm joining James here in Angoulême, we are spending like a week touring around France for the release of the French edition. And the plan is to spend the train hours developing the next season.
Okay. So it was a little French story.
Yeah, perhaps it is influenced by something about France. I don't know.
Maybe.
Cool. So this is it.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you
very much for your time. Thank you.
Merci beaucoup.
Up early in the morning and I'm texting you.
Hey Robin, it's 7:30.
Well, that's okay, I'm ready to fight crime. You're the Dark Knight.
I'll be sleeping past 2.